I will never be a memory.
And what's going on, Read My Lips people? We are back. You know, I got some more Yang news for you, baby. Now more than ever, we need UBI. We got the coronavirus, pretty much sending people in a panic. And look, even me just saying the words coronavirus might demonetize this video. I've seen other YouTube creators saying their videos have been demonetized for saying it, but I don't want to keep tiptoeing around it. I'm going to call it the corona, or call it the virus, whatever. I'm going to call it what it's called. It's got people going into a frenzy. It's got people going into a panic. People are literally clearing the shelves of toilet paper, clearing the shelves of hand sanitizer. At my job, I've already had to stop 3 people from stealing our hand sanitizer. Had to stop them at the door. Sir, you can't take that. You need to put it back. So people have lost their mind. They've lost their shit. However, media is trying to downplay it. And then you got a ton of woke people on social media that have no idea what they're talking about. Zero. If I can give you any advice, it's not to listen to anybody on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. 9 times out of 10, they have no earthly idea what they're talking about. And yes, this is a guy on a social media platform. YouTube, I consider a social media platform of the sort, telling you not to listen to motherfuckers on other social media platforms. A whole bunch of woke people. At times like this, people all got the answers. They all got the answers, Sway. They all got the answers. If you were to ask them something political, I bet you they couldn't rub 2 sticks together. But when it comes to the coronavirus, they got the answers. People are saying, hey, you ever notice that around every election time, something pops up, some virus pops up? Trump did this to distract you. Why the fuck would Trump do this to distract you? At the end of the day, all it does is make him look bad. It hurts him the most. Trump didn't do anything to create the coronavirus. It wasn't a government ploy that Donald Trump laid out. He's actually taking the most risk with this coronavirus shit. It actually might hurt him enough that a sleepy, handsy, perverted Joe Biden might actually have a shot. So, no, this has nothing to do with Trump trying to distract you. People are downplaying the significance of the virus. It is 10 to 30 times stronger than the flu. Okay? Obviously, the people more at risk are people with underlying health issues and the elderly and the really, really, really young, like babies and what have you. Obviously, they're the ones that are the most in danger if they got it. But everyone can get it, and you're taking a risk of being fucked up by it, even if you are younger. If you don't take the proper precautions. So I knew this was a serious thing. Once I had to do a conference call this morning at 9 a.m., they've drastically cut back on our hours. They've cut back on payroll. They've cut back on hours by 30%. And depending on what region you're in, depends on who these hours affect. So I know some people in other regions where, the management is even getting their hours cut. In our region, managers are keeping their hours. My hours are technically still going to be the same. I'm still going to do 40 hours a week, but our staff's hours have been cut immensely, meaning non-management. So our stock people, our cashiers, people along those lines are taking a hit which means the manager's workload has increased exponentially. And that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. It's going to be more work for us because we're losing some of the, people that help us out with so many things. And then they cut the store's hours as well. So instead of being open till 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, the stores are closing earlier. So, gyms are closing, schools are closing. So there's going to be some people, some dumbasses on social media. I see it all the time. They're downplaying it, acting like it's nothing. And then there's some people on social media that are overplaying it, acting like it's the end of the world. We're not really in either spectrum yet. If you were to look at Italy, they're getting decimated, okay? While places like Taiwan were better prepared. So I say all this to say what Andrew Yang has been talking about during his whole campaign would help everybody immensely. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is universal basic income. It's super necessary because instead of keeping these jobs open like we're doing, like my job is, even though hours have been reduced, the job is still open. You're putting you at risk. It's putting you at risk. If people were able to stay home and still get some sort of pay, that would help them immensely. And what else needs to be done is they need to put a halt on rent, put a halt on suspend mortgage payments. They need to, and Bernie Sanders was actually talking about this. Joe Biden wasn't talking about it. Donald Trump wasn't really talking about it. Bernie Sanders actually brought up, and I think Andrew Yang would wholeheartedly agree with him in this particular subject. Utilities need to be suspended. Nobody should have their utilities cut off. Water, heat, electric, they need to be available and ready for people at all times. Whatever can be done for people to stay home should be done. And I know Tulsi Gabbard was talking about it. I think she actually went on the Hill Rising and spoke on it a little bit. Here's a quick clip.
Presidential candidate and Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard's plan to combat coronavirus takes a unique approach, a universal basic income for every American. So in this plan, every American citizen would get $1,000 a month until coronavirus is no longer a public health emergency. She said that this solution would provide economic relief, quote, directly into the hands of every American rather than getting stuck in bureaucracy or ending up in the pockets of big corporations.
Joining us now to discuss her resolution is Hawaii Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard herself. Congresswoman, it's great to see you back on the Rise.
Have you.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Thanks for braving it in order to come here. Tell us a little bit about the proposal, the reception it's received so far on Capitol Hill, and why what we're seeing so far from Congress and the administration is not adequate to meet the moment.
A lot of attention is really focused, as is the case when there are, big crises or things that we're facing in the countries. Well, let's look at Wall Street. Let's look at these major industries. Let's look at how they can get some kind of stability. But every single time, virtually, it is the everyday American who's completely left behind holding the bag. Mm-hmm. I've been talking with some of my friends who are active duty service members, and, they're going out and buying supplies for their families and stocking up and spending a few $100 to do so. And you think of like a private, an E3 or an E4 in the military, they're paycheck to paycheck. Some of them are even on food stamps. And so then it starts to hit home. Most Americans don't have that safety emergency bank account, even for a short term, what to speak of if you're talking about weeks, or in this case, people are looking at potentially months. And so really looking at this universal basic payment, an emergency direct aid to every single American, I think makes absolutely the most sense.
Mm-hmm. And so why?
So not only, was Tulsi talking about it recently, but Andrew Yang himself was talking about it. He went on to say, lower interest rates do nothing for the wage worker losing shifts and tips, for the mom stuck at home looking after her child because the school closed, for the restaurant or theaters losing business because people are staying in. The only stimulus that would work is UBI stimulus. And he's 100% right. It's ironic and funny and interesting that it all came back around. It all comes back around to what Andrew Yang was proposing. UBI would help out immensely. And I mean, there's been articles written about, how UBI would affect this coronavirus outbreak that we have. And Yang's tweet was in response to the Federal Reserve. So pretty much, Yang is saying that basic income would ensure people don't lose everything during an economic downturn by providing them with enough money to get by and keep markets rolling. And look, the concept of UBI isn't far-fetched at all. The Canadian province of Ontario carried out a 2017 basic income pilot project involving 4,000 people, which became a huge success, with participants continuing to work and often moving into better, higher paying jobs. So there's been tons of examples of why UBI works. And it now more than ever, it's necessary. And kudos to Tulsi for talking about it. I just had to say, it's just ironic that it's come back around full circle to UBI. And, Yang aside, the only other person that was saying things that made sense about what's happening is Bernie Sanders. They need to suspend those things, and they need to help. The government needs to be helping people out right now, right? And businesses really shouldn't be open. Businesses shouldn't be open. In Connecticut, we've had a couple cases of it already. Obviously, it's been in New York. It's spreading, and people really don't know what they're talking about when it comes to it. Like Joe Rogan or not, he had somebody on there that was talking about this, who his job is to do nothing but deal with these kinds of things. And look, he made a lot of sense, and he gave people a breakdown, and really just, you need to pay attention to this stuff. I'm not telling everybody to panic, but I'm also not telling you to be incredibly lax either. Take precautions. They're now at the job allowing us to wear gloves. We can petty cash to get gloves, and if we want to put something over our mouth, we can. They've reduced the hours. I mean, it's affecting people, and this really is going to affect, for my region in particular, the employees that are getting their hours cut. They have bills to pay too. They have kids to take care of, and they're going to be fucked. I couldn't imagine being in their spot right now, and shit rolls downhill. There's absolutely nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. I could be on the chopping block next. You never know. So these people, that work for me, they're going to take a hit. And God forbid they can't survive through it. God forbid it puts them at a disadvantage. People don't have money saved up to do anything. Half of America makes $30,000 or less. 75% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. So this hit that my employees are about to take could put them in financial ruin. This is why UBI is necessary. I had somebody text me 2 days ago saying, yo, I see why UBI is needed. So now more than ever, we need it. Do I think the government is going to give us universal basic income? I don't know. I think Tulsi was saying she was trying to, they were working on legislation. They were trying to get that through, but I don't know. I really don't know. And this thing's projected for months. It's not like, buckle down, hunker down for a week. It's projected to be, for a decent amount of time. So what do you guys think? Do you think they will get there, something will be passed and people will get some sort of, money sent to them to help them survive? Or does the government just not give a fuck and they're going to tell us to just, push through? And this is why we need a strong leader right now. And a strong leader is not Joe Biden. Andrew Yang had the solutions. So I just want to tell people, if you can, please stay safe. Stay out of crowded areas. I mean, the grocery stores are packed. They're cleaning the shelves out, ironically. They're going to the grocery stores to buy materials and items to, hunker down in, but they're in a grocery store full of people. So stay safe. If you don't have to leave the house, don't. UBI would be pretty fucking sweet right now, right? So that's it for you. Look, I will be, if all is going according to plan, talking to Boyce from Mindful Skeptics tomorrow. So Sunday evening. I don't have the exact time, but be on the lookout for that. What the hell am I talking about? Sunday, not tomorrow. Jesus. Well, technically it's Saturday, but today's Saturday, but I'm not calling it Saturday because it's like 12 a.m. So Sunday, be on the lookout for that. I'm sure we're going to have a crap ton of stuff to talk about. So if you like what you see, if you like what you hear, please like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it. If you don't, let me know in the comment section why. I'm always down to talk about it. I have a Cash App, a PayPal, and a Venmo link in the description below. Please feel free to donate to the channel. I'm pretty sure this video is going to get demonetized because I said coronavirus in it, and YouTube doesn't like shit like that, and they will demonetize you. So if you can spare it, please feel free. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'll be talking to you guys soon. Have a good one. Peace.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying out its prayer. Why are we so ashamed to be